Hi everyone, you're welcome to another section of Science and Mathematics with Anderson. Today on Science and Mathematics with Anderson, we're going to continue from where we stopped on our last section in chemistry, which was how to name organic compounds. For those of you who have not watched my last video, I would plead with you to watch that video as this would help you have a better understanding on this particular section. In our last section, or on our last section rather, we did talk about two rules when naming organic compound. The first two rules when naming organic compounds. And I said the first rule was that you need to identify the longest chain. And the second rule is that you need to check for presence of functional group so that you can give the functional group the smallest possible value or number. Today we're going to look at an organic compound that has two functional groups. You would remember in the last video that I did, I said that the functional groups are categorized into three: those that serve as suffix, and those that serve as prefix, and those that stay in the middle. We're going to look at functional groups that serve as prefix alongside functional groups that serve as suffix. In this case, how do you name the compound? Which of these functional group would take the smallest number ahead of the other? Now, it is important to know that when you have a mixture of two functional groups in which one of the functional group serves as the suffix and the other serves as the prefix, the one that serves as a suffix would always take the smallest number when counting ahead of the one that serves as the prefix. So here is an example of what I'm saying. Okay, so I guess we are all done writing at this point. Now, from what I just said, the very first thing to do is to identify your longest chain. Identify the longest chain. So we're going to count from left to right. We have 1, 2, 3, and if we count in the reverse direction, 1, 2, 3. So our longest chain here, or we only have one possible way of counting, which gives us what? Prop. So when you have 3 carbon atoms, we call that prop. So longest chain, prop. prop. Parent name. So, which of this functional group will serve as our parent name? Our parent name is always the functional group that serves as a suffix. Our parent name is always the functional group that serves as what? As the suffix. Now, between these two, the functional group that serves as the suffix between the double bond and chlorine is a double bond. However, I want to highlight the two functional groups present. We have the double bond, and we also have the haloalkane member, which is chlorine. The double bond is among the functional groups that serve as the suffix. Because of this, the functional group double bond would take the smallest number ahead of this other functional group because chlorine serves as what? As a prefix. Now, double bond is from the family of alkene, and the parent name in alkene is known as the ene. Is known as the ene. Is known as the what? The ene. Now, from this point, we're going to, since we have a prefix there, we're going to write it there. Prefix. And our prefix here, our prefix is chlorine. So when you have, for the haloalkane family, we'll do another section on how to name the haloalkane family. But just so you know, the haloalkane family we always add, like for chlorine, it's called chloro. For chlorine, it's called chloro. For fluorine, it's called fluoro. For bromine, it's called bromo. For iodine, it's called iodo, when it has to do with naming of organic compounds. So we have chlorine there, that becomes chloro. So you might be wondering why the space here. The reason for the space here, it's because I need to get the position of these two functional groups. The double bond belongs to position 1, so that becomes 1. And the haloalkane member, which is chloro, belongs to position 3. So this is the breakdown of the naming of our organic compound. Now, how do you name this compound? So we're going to start with the prefix, which is 3-chloro prop 1-ene. 3-chloro prop 1-ene. In subsequent section, we're going to see reason why there is a dash between a figure and an alphabet. But just so you know, please, you don't put a comma, or you don't just write it as 3-chloro prop 1-ene. There needs to be a dash between a figure and the alphabet. So the name of this compound is known as what? 3-chloro prop 1-ene. 3-chloro prop 1-ene. And for most of you who will be writing the JAMB-based examination, please do not count from right to left, as you would see that answer amongst your option. If you count from right to left, that would give you 1-chloro prop 3-ene, and then that would be very, very wrong. That would be very wrong. So, until I come your way again on another section on science and mathematics with Anderson, I remain your humble Anderson Ikechukwu Nathaniel.